It is.
All right.
All right, we're in business?
Yep.
Excellent. All right, well, seeing we've got the live stream on and we have a quorum, I think we have everybody here tonight. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order at 5:42 p.m. First thing, we have the agenda up. Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Motion.
Second. Do we have any discussion? All right, one question I have, Dominic, did you get, everybody's responses on the self-evaluation?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, so that was one thing that I wasn't able to do. I was hoping to log in and pull that information before the meeting, but I wasn't able to get to that. And so I'm not sure the status as far as who's been able to take it or not.
All right, well, then what we'll do is we won't handle items A and B of old business today. And we'll just move over to for the next meeting, the December meeting under old business. Do we have any other potential revisions to the agenda? All right. All in favor of adoption of agenda?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, approval of the summarized minutes of the October 15, 2025 meeting. I see a little typo. We're making the discussion of the mission specific chart results. Yes, I think that's the page of it. We have a motion to approve the summarized minutes of the October 15, 2025 meeting.
I move that we approve summarized minutes of the October 2025 meeting as presented.
Second.
Second.
Alright, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, public comments. I did not have anybody sign up with me. I assume nobody else had anybody sign up with them. And I don't see any public in this room, so we don't have any public comments today. So we'll move on to comments from council members. I'll be glad to start. We'll talk about it more throughout the meeting, but we have some good news. We are going to be a school for at least 5 more years.
Yay.
Our starter last week. So Ms. Christie will talk about it a little bit more in her head administrative report. Yeah, and we'll talk about a little bit more about what still needs to be done as part of new business, but there's a lot of work, and so I just want to thank the whole team and Christie and all of our administrators and faculty and staff have a lot of work to do on it and did an amazing job.
Yes.
And got a lot of compliments from everybody at APS, and board was complimentary. So good job, everybody. Any other comments from council members? All right, well, let's move straight on to the head administrator's report.
Okay, Fabian is pulling that up. I have, so last month I was not able to update our enrollment completely on the head administrator report because I was not here to be able to do that. So you can see that it's showing from October to November a drop in more kids than typical, but that's because I didn't truly have that number updated from September to October. But that is completely updated now. So we are currently at 353 students. And Fabian, if you want to scroll down, what I've done is I've included a new table. So I'm hoping this will capture a recommendation that I've gotten earlier. So I'm hoping that this will help us to kind of track what's going on with student enrollment. So what I've done is at every grade level, I have a row for enrolled and a row for withdrawn. So WD is withdrawn. And then I'm looking at the number of students by month at each grade level that entered and exited. Okay. So then all the way across, you can see the totals, but then it's broken down by month because I thought, well, if we're going to do this, it'd be helpful to be able to see the trends across months to see if there's any months that we're seeing more changes. And typically we see more changes in August because we have, like I've talked about, we have kids who enroll but then don't show up. And so I consider that, they're considered a no-show, but for purposes of this, it's a withdrawal because they never actually showed up to the school. So you can see there's a lot of changes happening earlier in the school year. And then as the school year progresses, there's less things happening with in and out going on.
Yeah, the idea being if there is a significant amount of withdrawals, it could be some indication of problem that maybe we needed to address.
Right.
Good.
And I think it also helps when we look at assessments and how we're doing as a school academically, because if there's a lot of changes happening, then it may be that we're assessing different kids at one point in the year than we are at another point in the year, depending on how much fluctuation we're seeing with this.
So overall, you only lost 6 students, right?
That's a great question.
I think when I added it, we had 21 that enrolled, 27 that withdrew.
You know what? I didn't look at it that way, so I don't know.
That's our accountant.
Yeah. Not bad, yeah. I
That's
feel
okay.
like, that's right, I would have to go back to my reports from like August and September, but I feel like we started at around 360 kids. And for 40-day, I think our student enrollment count ended up being 357, if I remember correctly. So our budget goal was 376 with an actual of 357. We are going to see a budget cut again.
And so if we're looking for any kind of trends, obviously August is when they all really come, but September, there were some new enrolled, October, no new enrollees, and November, 3 new enrollees. It'd be interesting year over year to see if there's any kind of trend associated with that.
What do Where do they come from when they enroll in the middle of the year?
Typically, they're not successful at another school, and for whatever reason, the parent's looking for a change. It could be that the student's struggling academically or socially, behaviorally. It could be that they moved. We do see that a lot, and that's oftentimes the reason we lose kids is because they're moving. You know, we lost one military family, getting ready to lose another military family, you know, that sort of thing, it happens. We have parents, we recently lost a family with several students because they thought that the commute was doable, but then once they actually started doing it, realized that the commute was too much for them. So, you know, those kinds of things happen, I think, quite a bit, and especially after the start of the school year. A lot of parents try to make it work for the school year, but, you know, circumstances come up.
The state of our freeways don't help that.
No.
Kind of rough right now.
August enrollments was 362.
Okay. So we're at a difference of 9 right now, 11, 9? Yeah. And that could be because some of the no-shows, depending on if I capture them when I've already done class list versus when we did the last report, you know, so it's probably the no-shows is where the little bit of difference is. All right, so hopefully that's helpful. All right, any other discussion on that table? Okay, awesome. Let's go ahead and go to the next item. So construction. We're continuing to have construction go on. The signs, the 2 monument signs on either corner, the bricks have been installed for that, but we're still waiting for the electricity and a lot of the lettering, all of that. So that's all still in process. Planters and benches in front of the school, as well as turf on in front of the school on the south side. All of that's in process right now. The contractor, I have, typically I meet with him weekly, and he is really anticipating that he's shooting for January to have it all done. So we're gonna have a big push over winter break to get a lot of stuff done. So luckily I'll be in town in case I need to stop by. So we'll see what happens, right? I think that there's good intentions and schedules and timelines, and then we'll see how that rolls out with the holidays.
Holidays.
And then we'll talk a little bit more about construction under old business, because we need to talk about the change order again. Charter renewal, as Erin said, we were unanimously approved to be renewed for another 5 years. So that is happy news. School designations, those were released last Wednesday as well, on November 12th, and we are back to being a spotlight school, which is the highest designation a school can receive. So very, very happy about that. In looking at the New Mexico Vista's website, it looks like our designation score is coming from growth. And when we look at growth, we had pretty significant growth in our middle school. Actually, academically, we saw really, really big increases. We actually had an academic committee meeting recently, and I took a look at all of that. So I'm sure Dave and Dominic can talk a little bit more about it. Unless there's anything you wanted to add now, Dave.
I can wait.
Okay, sounds good. All right, annual plan and 90-day plan. I have not been able to share this with you all because the data has been embargoed. So I haven't been able to share it publicly. We've been working on these things internally, but I haven't been able to share it with you all in a public meeting. The 2 desired outcomes are listed there. These are the goals that we are working on. They're quite lengthy. I will save you from having to listen to me and just let you read them. That is what we are working on school-wide. I have the entire plan copied for you if you like some reading material in your free time, but it does include all of our data analysis.
Does this mean it's unembargoed?
Right.
Want to make sure if I have secret stuff in my hands or.
Or do you want a copy? I think you guys have access
We've
to
seen
it.
it, yeah.
There's a lot of information in there, so it starts out as an annual plan. Which is looking at the data, and then the 90-day plan portion of it is now what are we specifically going to target instructionally to try to make change? And those are the desired outcomes that are listed. So as a school, we provided professional development to the teachers about our goals for the 90-day plan. And then during PLC meetings, each grade level talked about strategies that they could do to really address these things in the classroom. And we've been doing teacher observations for their evaluations here recently, and I actually recently observed one of our related arts teachers. And it was really awesome to see that the related arts teacher, who does not teach ELA and does not teach math, incorporated the 90-day plan into her class and had something actually targeted for the students to do that was in direct connection to our ELA goal.
Cool.
Yeah, so found a way to creatively implement it and integrate it into what she was doing, even though she doesn't teach ELA or math. So in developing these two, we look at a lot of data. We look at what's called an item analysis, where we can look at the NMESA data broken down by grade level and by actual item that's connected to the standard, so that we can see as a school what percentage or how many points on average students were received on a particular item. And so we could say like, oh my gosh, this was an area where you did not do well in. And so what we do is we look at that across the grade levels, look at the commonalities, and then that's how we develop that school-wide goal. So we're looking at a lot of different data when we develop our 90-day plan. Any questions or discussion on that? I know it's a lot to digest. Okay. All right, and then lastly in my report are just upcoming dates, things that are going on. Our 80th reporting day is on December 1st. We have middle of year assessments coming up the very beginning of December. On December 1st, State Representative Joy Garrett is coming to visit our 4th and 5th graders. So that'll be really awesome to have her come and visit the school. The PCS&M annual conference is happening December 10th through the 12th. And of course, there's governing board training available at that conference. It is at the Tamaya again this year. And then we have PD for all staff on December 12th. We have Spirit Week that coming up that following week. And then of course, we'll have our next board meeting right before winter break. So that's all from me, unless anybody has any questions.
Can we incorporate the pajama day into the governing
You
council?
betcha.
That was.
We'll have color block day that day, which is wear your favorite winter colors.
All right, thank you, Ms. Christie. Let's go ahead and move into reports from invited guests. Do we have anything from the foundation?
Just an update, the foundation was not able to hold their monthly meeting last month, and the next foundation meeting is scheduled for Monday.
And anything for that?
Nothing from my city council at this time.
Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and move into our council committee reports, and we'll start with finance, facilities, and HR. Veronica, take it away.
Thank you. So tonight, Finance Committee met and we reviewed and discussed the October 2025 financials. As always, it includes the bank statement, the bank register, we reviewed large dollar items, and that's typically payments over $5,000. We review the check, the details of the check, the PO, packing slips, all those things. We also had a chance to review the October budget summary, expense summaries. There were 2 journal entries for October. We do not have any bars tonight. We did have the opportunity to review the HR files for a few of the faculty members, which we are required to do on a regular basis. So, good meeting. Any questions about bank activity or the budget summary?
Who is Saul Urbina?
Jennifer.
We're still on track to stay within our budget.
Oh, yeah. Wait till we get there. Are there any other vendors anyone had questions on for the bank register? I don't think we had anyone new except for the land reading company. I think that was the only new one we added on there this month.
And there was some IRS payments. Why were we paying taxes when the government was shut down?
Oh, they were shut down.
Maybe that would make them get to work faster, is if all taxes stop.
Right.
I don't have any other questions about.
Hey, Veronica, just real quick, the review of HR files, just to make sure I have that right, that's to ensure correct salary for level. Is that what the review was?
Yes, that's correct. We match up the degree level, years of experience with their annual pay in their contract, and we compare that to the approved salary schedule.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I do have another question. ACES, does that have to do with construction?
No, I don't think it was this month, the 29,000.
That's IT and their food services, right?
Yeah, I don't think we had a construction one this month.
Actually, it's somebody that you gave me.
I didn't think so either.
You probably have it in front of you.
From last meeting.
Yeah, probably look at the check he's wondering about.
Oh, yeah, do you want to see it?
Where ACES?
Yeah.
I trust you on this.
There.
I will.
Let me change your mind. And then for budget summary, it's looking pretty good. In terms of spending, I'd say the only one we probably are gonna get started on spending a little bit more of is Title II, which is 24154. But I'm not worried about spending anything that we currently need to spend down by year end to 0. And we see
You're still spending most of it on stipends.
Title II, I think that's the goal, yeah.
So it's usually like December to May.
Yeah. That's all I got, I'm sorry.
And that budget is still the budget that's gonna get lowered because our headcount goes down. Is that true? Or is this?
That is the allocation for this year.
Not
But I
with
thought
the,
that was based on a higher
Yes.
headcount.
Are you talking about Title II?
No.
No.
Oh, you're not talking about high school.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
That was-
Yeah, so that's the current one that we had before it was adjusted. So it'll just January, February-ish, we tend to get that letter. Yeah.
And so the 23% remaining will go down first.
Yeah.
last year it didn't decrease as much as we had
Yeah.
anticipated that it would, so maybe we're naively feeling optimistic.
I don't like this change, it's not usually a year.
No, really defined unit value too. So if the final unit value goes up.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I have not heard anything about lease assistance yet, so.
About what?
Lease assistance to pay for the building.
Yeah, I don't know if the government shutdown is like gonna display that, but
But that's in the state allocation.
that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do we have any other questions on the budget? Do we have a motion to approve budget?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And do we have any action on supplier fixed assets? And any questions?
Nope.
Excellent. Let's go ahead and move on to the nominating council professional development committee.
I don't have, a report on nominating, committee. We're just kind of at a standstill right now. We haven't lost anybody, but I'm not identifying and no one else seems to be either, some good candidates. As far as professional development, I'm not aware of any changes, since last month. And there are some opportunities coming up, as Christie said, at Tamaya, to get the 5 credit units that you need. I don't know if anyone has signed up. If you need the PO number, I've sent it out several times earlier in the year, but I can get it to you again.
Does registration close on that one?
And you know what, I
They
don't know.
extended it.
Yeah, they usually extend it,
Is it?
It's coming up close though.
yeah.
Yeah,
I have a trial there. I'd love to be able to go, but I have a trial right around there. If I get the trial settled, I can go. If I don't get it settled, I can't go.
yeah.
So just wondering if there's any hope of me meeting.
It's
that
a really
deadline.
nice conference. And I wasn't able to attend last year, but I'm going this year.
I attended the last 2 years, but I'm not going this year because I already did my final.
Well, I'm meeting on the next 2 days, but settled, so I'm gonna reach out to somebody.
Check your emails, if you can't find the email on it, I think I sent it out, but, let me know and I'll send it out again.
Appreciate that.
I can't remember, it's only just the 1 day that you have to be there, you don't have to be there all 3 days.
I think it's Thursday, the 11th.
Thursday, yeah.
That's.
If you start with money, then I like it at the last minute.
Especially the day I'd like to be there is Friday and stay Friday night. You know,
Oh, yeah.
this is great.
I think they have a special rate for the conference.
They do.
Good food.
Yeah.
Good food.
Really good restaurant.
Oh, it's great. That's awesome.
That's all I have. I should have more updated numbers, after the quarter's over. There are several people who give classes, who don't report until the end of the quarter, so. I won't know anything until then.
Welcome. Well, anybody that knows anybody in the marketing profession and wants to help send something my way. I think it would be awesome if our next board member had that skill set. All right, well, then let's go ahead and move to the policy committee. Do we
Excuse
have,
me, I don't have a report other than to say that we have 2 policies to review. But they've been postponed. This is now the 3rd month, yeah. Because, we haven't been able to get, a review and consultation with the council, with our council. So those 2 are postponed again.
I can tell everybody, I put it on our council's radar.
Good,
When we were meeting with her in preparation for the renewal. And just so everybody knows, we did consult with our attorneys several times during the renewal, just to make sure everything was going as planned. We'll hear some more about that later. But I put it on her radar and let her know that we're gonna want her services. We're gonna need her services on some charter renewal stuff still, for the next about 30 days, and then after that, we'll give them your own policy.
That's all I have.
All right, strategic planning committee.
So I will be getting the crew back together here soon. Think we have now that the charter renewal has been approved, to kind of adjust to it of updating the mission and vision within our official documents. So we'll get that cranked out as a first action, but then have some discussion on anything we might need to do from an assurance standpoint, just to make sure we can report back on progress towards goals and all that. I'm not too concerned with it. Just want to make sure we don't over engineer that either. But that'll be a focus for me now. So that's it for tonight.
That's it. Thank you. All right, well, let's go ahead and take a report from our academic committee.
Can you bring that up, Fabian, please?
There you go.
So we met on Monday and we had looked at the standardized test across the state, whatever MSSA stands for. It's not really important, but we were, as a committee, super impressed with what the scores were for both language and math for 5 through 8. And probably the high scores and the high improvement was the cause for us to become a spotlight school again. So that's wonderful. On the other hand, we looked at the 3rd and 4th grade and had some concerns with the significantly lower scores for those 2 grades compared to the other 4. And so there was like 37 and 34% for ELA and only 18 and 13 for math. And the 4th graders are the ones that were the kindergarten COVIDs, and they've been struggling for the whole 4 years, 5 years now that they've been here. But the 3rd graders, we're not quite sure what the cause was. As Christy, when she handed this out and talked about going into the detailed assessment related to that standardized test, it gives you lots of detailed areas of testing and what our score was compared to the state. So for 3rd graders, reading strategy and comprehension was one line item that we scored lower than the state and APS, and also writing and language. And so when this 90-day plan was established, they took that information and tried to focus on some of those areas to try and bring them up for the next year. Did I summarize that correctly?
That's right.
And 4th grade was reading strategy, analysis, and interpretation, and writing analysis and language conventions. So again, they're trying to focus on how they can improve that. And then we're getting a new testing tool, I think, for K through 2.
That's right.
And I don't remember, is iReady what it used to be? I can't remember.
It was iStation.
iStation, I could never remember. I
Right.
guess, had a 50-50 and I guess wrong. So iStation is being replaced by a new testing tool. And so our comparative year over year will be a little skewed, or, I mean, it won't be apples and apples any longer. But we'll see how it works out. And we should get our first, what's the assessment that we're gonna look at in January? That's
The short cycle assessment.
Yeah. So we will meet again in January and report how the groups did in our first fall assessment. That's all I have. You want anything more?
No, you did a great job.
Dominic?
Yeah, no, that was a great summary, Dave. It does bring up a question though for Christy. With that new software that they're bringing in, I probably should have asked this at our other meeting. Do they baseline it? Do they tell you what an equivalent score is in iStation versus is it Amira or whatever the new software is?
You know, I don't know the answers to that, but I'd be happy to see if I can find out and report back to you guys in January when we meet as an academic committee.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it'd just be good to know if they have what they would consider an equivalent score in each, because that could help us maybe compare that data a little bit better going forward.
Thanks, Dominic.
I did have one question. I was kind of going through this. Just through the charter process, one thing I realized is everybody's going to be very concerned about post-on data for the Yazzie Martinez groups. And I know I see breakdowns grade by grade. Is there also breakdowns just kind of as a whole? Do we know?
Say that one more time, Erin. I'm sorry, I was writing my notes. I didn't forget Dominic's question.
No worries. I noticed that grade by grade, I see breakdowns of scores for the Yazzie Martinez groups. Is there a breakdown like by students as a whole for that?
Like individual students?
So,
Right, for the whole
like
grade.
school-wide, how's our economically disadvantaged, school-wide?
As opposed to said by grade level.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't provide it in that format, but we can pull it together.
Yeah, I imagine we'll see a lot more focus on reporting those numbers. Excellent, thank you. Because, and the reason I asked is, by looking at some of the grade by grade, it appears to me that some of the data is driven by very small groups too.
Very, very
You know,
small.
Very
And so the aggregate, I think, tells us a little bit more about our methodologies and whether they work. Right. Thank you. All right, well then let's go ahead and move into our old business. We're bumping the items A and B to next meeting. If anybody hasn't done their government council self-evaluation, please get it done. Dominic's gonna harass you this month if you haven't. Yeah, it has been sent out. And I think as of last meeting, like 3 people maybe haven't done it.
I
Yeah,
got
that's
it,
correct.
opened it up, and I think Dominic said last month that he had enough data that it didn't matter, he couldn't get into it. Am I correct, Dominic?
The last discussion we had was around whether people were still locked out.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out if, I mean, from looking in the tool, I couldn't see that people were locked out, but I know with Aaron, I had to, I don't know if it was because it had gone to like a different email address, not a one associated with Google. When you tried to access it, it requested an approval from me. Is that right, Aaron?
Yeah, I almost wonder if there's a timeout involved, because you had to do it for me twice. We did it and we tested my access in the meeting, and then I didn't do anything about it for 3 or 4 weeks. And then I had to ask you again, and you let me in again, and then let me do it. So there may even be a timeout function.
So I can refresh. I mean, I can try to see if it'll let me resend again tonight, just to see if that refreshes the program or access to it. So I'll do that tonight. So if you all can take a look, either Thursday, Friday, or early this next week, and then email me if you aren't getting access after that.
Okay, thank you. I'll get to it, tomorrow, if I get it and can open it, I'll do it right away.
All right, then let's go ahead and move to item C, discussion on charter renewal, charter school contract and performance framework. So as we've said a couple times, we can get renewed. Statutorily, there's a process that once the authorizing board reauthorizes you to have a charter, then there's a period by which the school and the authorizer talk about the details of both the contract and the performance frameworks that go along with the contract. And so that's the stage we're in right now. They approved us last week. And so now our council will be chatting with APS's council, and dealing with some of the details. As far as performance framework, it was kind of a hit and miss process over the last 5 years as to what was put in our possession. And so we're gonna try to be a little more on top of it, to make sure we have a good performance framework that we've agreed on with APS, because it's goals. You know, there's metrics and goals in there, and that's how they measure us, and it's how we measure ourselves and make sure we're meeting the goals we want to meet. And so our council is quite experienced in those matters, and so she's going to help us get those negotiations put into place. So you guys will see in budget reports, there are going to be some expenditures for our council because we have been utilizing her. So there's been a question with why are they paid the charter school law, I don't know, where's it?
Law office.
Charter law office. That's what it's about, between this, and then we're gonna consult around the policy. She's been very helpful.
Didn't we review a few months ago what was going to be part of the performance framework?
We reviewed our application a couple months ago, and while there was some details in there, it wasn't a full-on performance framework. And so yeah, this is a slightly different document. And then the contractors making sure everything in the contract follows New Mexico state law.
And in preparation for the APS board meeting, Erin and I met prior to the meeting just to kind of go over everything, to anticipate questions that we may be asked or things that we may need to talk about. And one of the things that we were concerned about was that we only had one performance framework over the entire charter term to include with our application. So we were required to include all of our performance framework for each year, but we only had 1 year worth to share back. And so we were a little concerned about that. And so what we did is we pulled together site visit reports. And just to have on hand, just in case, because that particular performance framework report that we had showed some areas of red. And so we were concerned that the board may start questioning about that. So we were ready with site visit reports to say, here you go. Well, we didn't use them. So I thought you all actually might like them because it's a really nice compilation of all of our site visit reports over the last 4 years. So I brought them because no sense in recycling them. You can recycle your own, but it is interesting just to kind of see the information. I mean, we look at it together every year, but to see it side by side like this is helpful.
And you'll see a lot of green. Tons of
Hey,
green.
Quick question. Is this the same as the performance requirement document that we got from PED that listed the elements that they were going to look at, or is this separate?
That's different. That's accreditation.
Okay. So this is our framework for measuring the metrics for what's in our contract with the charter renewal. And then the PED thing, that's their metrics for accreditation.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So the way to look at this is our authorizer, we enter a contract with them, and as part of the contract, they say, you're gonna do a good job. And in fact, yeah, how do we know we're doing a good job? And so it's the performance framework is how we measure ourselves, and it becomes part of the contract that we enter into with APS.
And the performance framework in that the board that was put in front of the board last week from the charter school office, the APS charter school office, it's very similar to these site visit reports where it's broken down, you know, with certain operational pieces, policy pieces, financial, special education, things like that.
All right, So we'll have another update at our next meeting about how, the negotiations went and ended up with AKCS and our council. And then we'll be on our way to our next 5 years.
Nice.
All right, any other discussion on that? All right, well, then let's go ahead and move to old business item D, discussion and amended action on construction change order.
Right, so we could talk about the construction change order last month. And I shared with you at that time that our concern was that it looked like the way that it was written, it looked like we would be spending an additional however much, 40, I can't even remember how much it was at this point, $40-something thousand maybe. Yeah, and so we did go back to the contractor. He did put together the change order. It is a $0 change order. The reason I am bringing it to you again is because last month the motion was about doing a replacement to the sandbox for the kitchen. But how the contractor was able to work everything is a little bit different than that. So instead, but you can see here that there's some play structures that are included. And then and then in this next section is delete the following pieces. And then when you go a little further down, it says delete the sandbox with the canopy. And then you can see that those items have been changed, and then we have signage change. So there was a credit for some of the sign work that they're going to be doing, and then you see the cost of the scope of the kitchen work. And so then you can see the charges and the credits and how it all comes down to $0. So essentially, what's happening is we are not doing a sandbox, and we are saving money on the signs. In exchange, we are remodeling our kitchen, and we are adding some additional playground equipment.
Without spending any more money.
Exactly. So it's a win-win in my opinion.
Especially the kitchen.
Yes, I'm very excited about that, because right now it has temporary walls and it's like a massive eyesore and not functional.
Well, we could have a giant litter box, though.
That's right.
I mean.
So just because the way the motion was put forth last month, I was just concerned in terms of the auditors and wanting to make sure that we're really looking at this again, making sure that we have a motion that matches what we're doing in case the auditors need to go back and look at the minutes.
Which is.
Yeah, I was looking at that now. I mean, the previous motion looks like it's consistent with what's done here, but I don't know if you want something with more detail. So that would be probably an Aaron question.
Yeah, Miss Chris and I talked about it, and we think we do want a little more detail, to be, and frankly, I don't remember the exact verbiage of the last motion. We went back and looked a little bit at, the video from last time, and I don't know that it really clearly said that we saved money on the signs.
Oh, Maybe it said that.
Yeah.
Does this have a date on it?
Now, November 17th is
I mean,
what
can't we
it's
just-
stated.
Can we just have a motion to approve this change order dated blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to do it, and that way we have a very clear trail documenting. What exactly we gave up. I mean, no auditor ever goes and looks and says, where's the sandbox, where's this, where's the shape?
So I'd be more than happy to make a motion to approve the school equipment incorporated proposal dated November 17th, 2025, which has changes up and down, but has a net change of $0.
Quotation number 25-8166, change order number 1.
Yes.
Do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Are they far enough along that we really don't expect any more changes up or down?
I don't expect anything changing at this point.
Who seconded that motion?
One change order.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, well then, I think we're through our old business, so let's go ahead and move into the new business, item A, discussion on state of the school event. Ms. Chris and I were talking, and it's been a number of years, I think, since we had a state of school event, maybe 2 years now. And we sure have a lot to show off and celebrate. You know, we have a brand new charter, we're the highest designation spotlight school. And so I think
We've
it's,
done a lot of construction.
yeah, a beautiful building and stuff to show off. So we think this is probably a good time to celebrate that with our community. Especially since one of our goals over the next 5 years is to market ourselves and increase enrollment. And so to get an opportunity to cheerlead for ourselves. And so we were thinking it's probably better sooner because it's a good way to roll out a lot of the new construction changes. So we thought we should put it on everybody's radar at least. And we were thinking, what, January, February might be a good time to make it happen. So if we're gonna do that, probably.
What's it going to be? Invite anyone who wants to come, or
Yeah.
sending out a document, or?
We've done it all kinds of different ways. And we've done it a big in-person event in our biggest room upstairs, pre-COVID. I think COVID ranged from virtual meetings to sending out a document. And so that's part of what we get to at least start the discussion on tonight. Anybody have strong feelings about what it should look like?
I'm wondering if, because there's so many changes outside, if we don't do it on the weekend, or is that just not practical?
No, we can do it whenever.
It gets dark so early.
And the reason we were thinking January, February is because if we can get our current community excited about all the things that are going on at the school, then they're gonna want to then share that information, word of mouth marketing then, and then our lottery is in March. So we thought it'd be a good time to try to just get some more word of mouth support.
Is there any way to get info out to other than current students? Where people that may be looking for a
We
place
can
to
put
come?
it on Facebook and Instagram. We can put it on our website.
Another question.
That's where our marketing person is.
Exactly.
So any thoughts as to, did we do an in-person thing here on the weekend?
Definitely in person for all the.
I would say,
Yeah.
because there are lots of things physically to celebrate, that'd be cool.
I just don't know about logistics of what families have going on the weekend, if you're gonna get a better turnout
Yeah.
on a weekday, even though they can't see the new activities or playgrounds. So
I've always noticed that there's some tension between Saturdays, soccer, etc., and Sundays, church.
Yeah.
Is there soccer and those kind of events in January, February?
well, there's basketball and other winter
The
sports.
both things start up in March.
Oh, football's on Sunday.
Don't wake up from that.
Bag of basketball.
So if we were to do a weekend day, Saturday would probably be a better option than Sunday, we think.
Why were we gonna do a weekend day, Aaron? Sorry, I missed that part of the conversation.
Just to show off the school, figure we may have a little better attendance.
So you see the changes on the outside.
I see.
5 o'clock now.
Now, the other alternative is if we weren't one of those big spotlight deals and shine it on the front of the school.
Maybe our sign will illuminate it.
Yeah, I'm serious.
In January, February, it'll be cold, even in the, even during the day.
Yeah.
We have to contend with weather a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, Christy, have you, based on the past experience you've had with putting these types of events together, have you had better attendance during the week or on the weekend?
They haven't really done much on the weekend.
No.
So it's, I don't know that I don't really have any data to see them about the weekend. As far as evening events, it's just right, and you can always draw people with food.
Yeah.
There's like, you make food and activities.
What you've done, like, state event, that kind of things that are common.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if it is food
It's-
trucks and.
Yeah,
other
food
things,
trucks, yeah.
And well, free food will draw them in.
Free food
Yeah.
draws them in.
Yes.
Can't go get their parents here, it has to be fun for them.
Right. It's gotta be something the kids wanna do.
Continue any goals or activities that they're wanting to do.
That we can piggyback with them, absolutely. And we actually just had a PTA meeting recently and I'm trying to remember some of the things we talked about. I don't think we really focused on the rest of this semester.
Yeah.
Not really looking much into the next
Do
semester.
something.
Yeah, in fact, PTA is doing a free food event in December. That's soon.
Mhm.
And they're still on that, just because of the holidays.
Yeah,
And I mean, I don't know how the foundation's doing right now, if we could hit them up for any contribution for a food. Obviously, to the extent we can get staff participation, that's always a good thing. I mean, would it make sense to have you, I don't know how often your all staff meetings are, is to run it by them and see if they have any strong feelings about weekend or evening.
yeah, I do agree with Veronica, if we can piggyback on another event, I think that's going to be our best bet. And I don't know, this is just something I thought of just now, I don't know if it's worth putting together, like maybe a smaller group of people to come up with some ideas to bring back to next month's meeting.
Ad hoc committee,
You can't require your staff to be here on Saturday, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the-
can you require them to be here after school either?
There's salary.
And I don't want to strong everybody, I want them to want to be here.
We have to incentivize them.
Yeah, I want smiling faces.
Right.
You get free food.
We do, in January typically, well, we have the big, school choice fair happening, but I mean, it's not here at the school. There's a lot of like choice fairs going on. We do open house tours during that time for prospective families. We're trying to get, like a science night scheduled, but that's going to be probably more March or April.
We never had our family dance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That was fun.
We have a photo booth still paid for that we haven't used.
Yeah.
It's always a fun
So
activity.
we never had to do a family dance.
Oh, it's one of those, hey, well,
Yes,
you need
yeah.
me and something else.
I think it off, like, something else.
That'll make people here all the time.
Kick it off, get their attention for 15, 20 minutes, and then you dance and then you.
Well, here's a thought, foundation meets on Monday, is there anybody from GC interested in attending the foundation meeting to maybe talk about some kind of joint event? 5:30,
And virtual.
yeah.
This many?
Mhm.
I can do that.
Yeah, it sounds like it's probably gonna be Zoom.
Just keep reminding him, put on my calendar.
But for ad hoc committee, I'm happy to participate in that to try to, I won't be able to attend Monday, because I have that. But yeah, just to partner and get going with that.
Yeah, if you could attend on our behalf, that would be awesome, Rhonda.
Yeah.
For these kind of events, do you have things, I'm trying to picture like what this looks like. Like, have you had like, say, like a booth for like the governing council for folks to go learn more about like what we do, and maybe that's an opportunity to recruit kind of thing?
Like if we're doing it in tandem with another event?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we would try to probably figure out how to do it to where we have an audience for a certain period of time before they go do
Yep.
the whatever. Because I think that the year we did, when we used to do just State of the School in person, it was only State of the School.
Yeah.
And there wasn't anything else going on, and we would have a pretty decent audience.
One year, we coupled it with some other where they were already here visiting the classrooms. It wasn't mandatory, but we were in here, so they could pop in. And
Yes.
we just kept getting the spiel and handing out the pamphlet that we
I think
created.
that was like during conferences or
There's
something.
There's something where there was already just a big group of people here. The hard thing is you just were constantly on repeat, and then people would come in, only get half the spiel, and then they would leave. So if you can have that target audience for, like I said, just a snippet of time.
Didn't we also actually do a video
We did
one year?
Done on Zoom. We did it live Zoom one year, recorded on Zoom, and then we shared the recorded version of it on Zoom. So we can always do that and have it just play on repeat in one of those.
Well, I think the doing something recorded is we can also push it out through social media and put it on our website, and then other people can share it. And so I do think you might reach more people that way.
So we can hold a session where people can join via Zoom, record it, and then have it available and still partner with another event where we are here and we're talking, possibly recruiting, doing that kind of stuff.
yeah, I'm just trying to like find some opportunity for our cause. And I'm trying to recruit, and just, some folks might see that like there is a governing council here, but they might not know what it actually is. And just trying to figure out what the options are there, because certainly if we did that kind of thing, I get a kick out of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, as far as drawing people in, from a parent's perspective, I think it was Anna that said the school dance. Anytime they did like the father-daughter dance or the grandparents dance or any type of dance, like the kids don't want to miss that stuff and they drag their parents to it. And so if if you're mixing with anything, that would be a really good option. I mean, of course, Boo Bash, but you can't redo that in January or February. But and I mean, if the idea was to have a captive audience, being able to provide those updates, on a projector, either between the dance or at the beginning of the dance or somewhere near the end of the dance, that seems like if you're trying to get in-person attendance and parents to engage, that would be a pretty good venue. But I don't know about the larger social media presence thing.
Well, if we did it in person, we could, as Veronica said, we could record it and put it out on those same platforms we talked about, so you could do that as well.
Yeah, but like I'm just thinking about like, people on X, platform X or on Facebook or those sorts of things. Like they're not looking to watch like a large video. They're looking to watch like a TikTok video that shows Alice King and the playground and kids laughing and the Spotlight School Award thing. Like it seems like, yeah.
It's actually true, attention spans have gone through the floor.
Okay, anybody else interested on the ad hoc committee?
Sure.
Dave? Marty, Dave, let's go.
Oh, I'll be on it.
I was gonna attend the meeting, give us an update. Okay. Go from there. Cool.
Hey, who's on that ad hoc committee?
Right now I have Christy, Dave, Rhonda, and Veronica.
Okay. Hey, so I don't need to join, but if I it seems like something fun. If I think of something that we could do as far as the low attention span people like me, I'll I'll send something y'all's way.
It's not gonna be a dance. I heard that the base has a dunking booth. You make a fun event, come dunk the teacher.
Finish the line.
Have one that you can rent, so sometime in the future, it might, again, warmer weather, but dunk a teacher. Put it right out here in the. Yeah.
Can you form an ad hoc committee without it being an agenda item?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I can appoint committees whenever I want. According to the bylaws. So it's done. Yeah, I know, and I like all the different ideas here. You know, I like the idea of having something where we bring everybody in and we have their attention for a while. We don't keep them too long. We just give them a general update, ask them if they have any questions. And then to send out to a larger audience, like you said, a TikTok style video. And, you know, maybe even kind of professionally done, you know, with,
I also think maybe some kind of call to action at the end of it, where it's like, hey, we're providing this to you. Spread it to 5 people you know, right?
Yeah.
As a way to help market, or write a review on these sites about the school. You know, some kind of call to action to help support this community. Yeah.
Hey, Christy, do your I don't even know if this exists, but do you guys, the charter people that you know, or other charter schools that do marketing, do they hire influencers or have like small contracts to help do that type of stuff, or you know?
Yeah, and I think that's something that we may need to really talk about is establishing some kind of marketing budget and hiring somebody to really help us with this.
Well, that is professional. Counting on the door.
Well, we do have carryover right now, and we could use carryover for marketing.
and we have a marketing committee and. Yeah, I think we're in that era. Where
Yeah.
That's how things are. The biggest corporations in the world, that's how they market.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna have you on the list, but then we can tag you, or we can talk tag on again.
I'll tag you in.
Okay. Your TikTok in for us.
Yeah.
Excellent. Any further discussion on state of school budget? All right. Well, then, I think the next thing we need to do is go into executive session. So, and we have a motion to go into executive session to discuss limited personnel matters pursuant to 10-15-1H2.
You can stick with this.
So moved.
All right.
We're part of it, yeah.
You
All right. Dominic, we had a motion and a second. Ron
Did
and Bron.
Patricia second or Veronica? They were fighting each other. Veronica, okay.
And all in favor?
Hi.
Any opposed? Motion